What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. Thanks so much for being with me. Every shred of information we put on this channel is brought to you by a couple nootropic products. Number one, the Cortex Stack. The buy one, get one free is officially over. Thank you so much for those of you that participated in it. You got free bottles. That was an excellent deal. For those of you that got one, you got one free. Some of you bought 10 and got 10 free. Some of you bought 5 and got 5 free. Hey, man, our loss was your gain. That's the whole benefit of doing the buy one, get one free. I mean, for us, it just surges revenue in, but at the same time, for you, you get free bottles per what you purchase. It's just an awesome deal. We usually do that when we have an influx of inventory that we kind of just need to get rid of. We will be running buy one, get one free again, probably in about 3 months, so just keep tuned to that. In the meantime, the Cortex Stack itself is still 30% off. Just use the coupon code 330 to take the price down pretty substantially on one bottle. Do that at livecortex.com. If you need to take your experience on using nootropics to the masterclass, that is defined as the 6-year mark. I mean, look, you get better results at the 6-year mark. You actually are able to induce brain states on cue, knowing how to properly formulate and adjust stacks. We teach you how to do that in Nootropics Masterclass. It's a video course. Get it at livecortex.com. Right now, no coupon codes. $55 even. Started out at $119, just to give you an idea of the value there. If you're brand new to nootropics, forget about all of that because it's a little more advanced for you. Just start with Nootropics Ground Zero. That is a video course that I created intending to take you from the ground up to the 3-year mark. It just synthesizes so much data in one video course and takes you where you need to be when you're brand new. Nootropics Ground Zero, 30% off using the coupon code 30, livecortex.com. If you're a guy and you need to raise test, look, I tried all the other packages out there and none of them really worked. I created my own protocol for raising test. Took my own test up to somewhere around 800 nanograms per deciliter. That's total test. Basically, results are insane. Formulated a protocol with it called the VTP. That is 30% off right now. Coupon code 30. Last couple things. If you're a business person and need exceptional, high-level cognitive performance, either the 1 month, the 3.5 month, or the 6 month intensive. These are results-driven biohacking consults where I work with you every day to fully optimize brain function. The 3.5 month and the 6 month also apply to PSSD and post-benzo syndrome. If there is any question about whether or not they apply to you, please email me, Ryan at livecortex.com. Okay. I want to talk about a strategy of alternating between 9-methylbicarboline, bromantane, and Dynamine. It's really a 9-MEBC bromantane Dynamine protocol. Now that I have enough data on 9-MEBC, it's time to talk about it more. But there's so many different protocols that I have ran with myself and that I've been running with clients that are highly effective. And I want to talk about one of them. So this is a 9-MEBC bromantane Dynamine protocol. It is over a 7-day period because I think protocols are pretty tightly, you can pretty tightly fit a protocol in a 7-day period and get a lot of results. That's sort of how I like to do experimenting these days. And for people with pretty good baselines, that's a great way to experiment because you don't have to do a whole lot of repair work that assumes their baseline is already good, which brings me into my next point. Before I get to this protocol assumes that you're in a dopaminergically sensitive state. Okay, a dopaminergically sensitive state means that the D1 and the D-like family receptor groups are highly sensitive to the signal of dopamine. It also assumes that your brain is capable of taking building blocks to dopamine in your diet and supplementally and turning them into dopamine via tyrosine hydroxylase and dopa carboxylase. Okay, if you are not in a dopaminergically sensitive state, and a prime candidate of that would be someone who's abused or used Adderall for long periods of time in the past, which downregulates dopaminergic receptor function, then before executing this protocol, you would likely have to take 9-MEBC for about a month at 25 milligrams 5 days a week. And that would foster the upregulation of the dopamine receptors that you need in a pretty functional state in order to respond really positively to this protocol. But if you're dopaminergically sensitive, then you can just execute this protocol. This is the protocol. Number one, again, we're talking about a 7-day period. In the first 2 days of the 7-day period, you take 25 milligrams of 9-MEBC for just 2 days, okay? What this attempts to do and should do and does for people is jumpstart the function and really the sensitivity of the dopamine receptors that you need optimized in order to respond better to the rest of the protocol, okay? So whether you're super sensitive to dopamine or not, really if you're super sensitive to dopamine, still, you should take 9-MeBC in the beginning of this protocol for 2 days. You're just getting a jump start on the dopamine receptors. Okay, days 3 through 7, what you do is you alternate between a strategy of 25 milligrams of Bromantane on one day with a regular caffeine dose. Okay, so the regular caffeine dose is defined as the caffeine dose that you can take that will get you the wakefulness promoting effects of caffeine, but not send you into a place where you have jitters or anxiety. Okay, so 25 milligrams of Bromantane with your regular caffeine dose. That is it. If, again, this assumes that you're in a dopaminergically sensitive state. If you are, that protocol alone will keep you highly functional for a good bit of your day to get a lot done. Ultimately, everything that we work toward on this channel and kind of the content that we put out, for the most part, aside from things like PSSD and post-benzo syndrome, are targeted toward productivity and targeted toward increasing your capacity to execute brain output to get things done. Okay, so what you do on days 3 through 7 is you alternate between that, and then on the days that you're not taking Bromantane with a regular caffeine dose, you simply dose 100 to 175 milligrams of Dynamine with your caffeine dose. Again, with the caffeine dose that you figured out works for you. What this does, let's start from the Bromantane strategy. So you've upregulated at a small capacity, right? Even that 2 days of 9-MeBC is a huge boost and very effective for people. The dopamine receptor side of things, that is the sensitivity of dopamine receptors, priming yourself to therefore make more dopamine when you bring the Bromantane in. Bromantane is a dopamine synthesis facilitator, also an actoprotector, which means it basically sort of just protects your body and brain in the presence of some sort of environmental stress like cold weather, etc. Okay, so now you're synthesizing dopamine better by fostering the synthesis via dopamine synthesis enzymes. That's what you're doing with Bromantane. It's allowing you to, in that time frame, take whatever precursors to dopamine that you may have in your diet or otherwise supplements. Like, say you take an amino acid complex that has phenylalanine in it, and use it to make more dopamine. It is a brilliant strategy, and again, works super well for people that are sensitive to dopamine. The Dynamine part of it, if you have sensitized dopamine receptors, if they're already pretty sensitive, and in this case, you got a jumpstart by using 9-MeBC, and then essentially you got another jumpstart by fostering the upregulation of dopamine synthesis enzymes. The other days in that 3 to 7 day period, you can do it 1 day Bromantane, 1 day Dynamine, 1 day Bromantane, 1 day Dynamine. You can do it 2 days Bromantane, 2 days Dynamine. You'll get a better response from the Dynamine. Dynamine is pretty much a caffeine-like analog that has allosteric modulation properties at the adenosine receptor sites. Okay, this is pretty critical. It essentially means that you will stave off caffeine tolerance and tolerance of any chemicals that bind to that receptor and turn on wakefulness, okay? So it's a wakefulness promoting agent, but how it's relevant here in addition to that is it fosters an extra release of dopamine, okay? In that, what you have is a total picture of jump-starting dopamine receptors, jump-starting dopamine synthesis. You've got your brain in the state where it's just really, really dopaminergically sensitive. Again, assuming that you're in that state pretty much to begin with. You just do a jump start with 9-MeBC in the beginning. And then you've got, these two compounds, Bromantane and Dynamine, basically fostering extra dopamine synthesis and then telling the brain to release more dopamine. What you can hope to expect in this time frame, and this is coming from many of our consulting clients that basically fit this profile, that are looking for performance optimization, and in some of them we've actually done repair work with 9-MeBC where they can get to this point because previously they weren't. That is why I said if you're not sensitive to dopamine, if you've got some sort of Adderall downregulation, it's a good idea to take 25 milligrams of 9-MeBC for a month first, 5 days a week, cycling off 2 days on the weekend. It gives such a profile of person 7 days of exceptionally strong brain performance on the dopamine side. What does that mean? It means motivation. It means the drive to do work. It means focus. It means a degree of baseline confidence. It means motivation. It means getting your brain in a place where the stuff you know you have to do, you've got the chemistry to do it. Okay? Anything that you need to do in life, whether it's business-wise or productivity-wise or work-wise or whatever-wise, if you got the brain chemistry to do it, you can do it. You know, it's like people look at people that are massive achievers and beasts in life and think, man, what is the critical thing that they have that I don't have? Like, do they have some sort of special thing? Is it genetic? Are they a gift to God? Not really. It's really all about brain chemistry. And if you got the brain chemistry to crank things out, which is heavily dependent on having a pretty functional dopaminergic system, you can be super productive, okay? So that's the strategy. Again, if you're not in a dopaminergically sensitive state, candidate for this would be Adderall users in the past or hardcore dopamine stimulant users in the past. 25 milligrams 9-MeBC first for 1 month, 5 days on, 2 days off over a 30-day period, okay? After that, and assuming that you are dopaminergically sensitive, 25 milligrams 9-MeBC for 2 days in the beginning of a 7-day period jumpstarts dopamine receptors. Days 3 through 7, you alternate in whatever cycle protocol you want. Like 2 and 2 is fine, 1, 1, 1, 1 is fine. 25 milligrams of Bromantane with your regular caffeine dose, and then alternatively 100 to 175 milligrams of Dynamine with your regular caffeine dose. Very cool protocol, but simple protocol, but highly dopaminergic, productivity fostering protocol. Hope that makes sense. Much more 9-MeBC and dopamine side of things, experiments and protocols to come. Yeah, I mean, I'm just super hot on that chemical right now, doing a lot of research, doing a lot of my own personal experimentation and tons of experimentation with clients, and we're getting a hell of a lot of good results with 9-MeBC. It is just a wonder compound. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Remember, hey, Cortex Stack, buy one, get one free is over. Thanks so much for those of you that got it. In the meantime, though, still an awesome deal. 30% off the Cortex Stack using the coupon code 3030 at livecortex.com. Add a bottle to your cart. Use the coupon code. It'll take some money off. Go get some bottles of Cortex. It is a strong stack. If you are in the need of taking your nootropics usage to the 6-year mark, and by the need, I mean if you really want to get the results that people that are in that long get with nootropics, you got to get the Nootropics Masterclass. What the hell is dinging on my computer? Hold on a second. I got to turn that down. Okay, you got to get Nootropics Masterclass, $55, livecortex.com right now. If you're new to nootropics, you got to stick with Nootropics Ground Zero. It shows you from the ground up how to get to the 3-year mark. It's just so useful and synthesizing what seems to be like an endless plethora of conflicting dose information on the web. You got to get your stuff from one source. Nootropics Ground Zero teaches you how to use nootropics. 30% off using the coupon code 30, livecortex.com. If you're a guy that needs to raise test, Viking Testosterone Protocol. Listen to the name, man. And I think the name accurately represents what you'll get from it, which is higher test. Do that at livecortex.com, 30% off using the coupon code 30. Last things, if you're a business person or someone who needs to be uber productive and you want to work with me on a very consistent basis over the course of a month, 3.5 months, or 6 months in a hands-on biohacking results-driven way to fully optimize brain performance, get either one of those packages. Obviously, the more time you spend with me, the more results we get. But for budget purposes, some people just want to go with the 1 month, and that's okay. The 3.5 month and the 6 month options also apply to PSSD, a very troubling syndrome after people take SSRIs where their sexual dysfunction is completely silenced and muted. We can resolve it. Same thing with post-benzo syndrome. We've been taking benzos for a while. You're off of them. We're trying to get off of them. And you just want to get your brain functioning normal and have no anxiety. Email me, Ryan at livecortex.com, if you have questions about whether or not any of those apply to your situation. Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.